I'm in the Anza Desert, and I'm at this lovely little kiosk, little trail. It is a trail that takes you off to a bunch of it's a village site. It takes you to a village site, and clearly this must have been a high traffic area, so the the Park Service decided they needed to manage this site. So I don't usually spend time at places that are on the map because I figure, what's the point? Why should I document it? It's something anybody can do. But you know what? Maybe you're watching this and you don't live near here. Maybe you want to know what the Kumeyaay people were up to out here in the Anza Desert. So I thought, what the heck? I have a little bit of time to kill today, and I think we're just going to go ahead and take a look down this trail and see what's going on. Emu is bedrock mortar. That's the Kumeyaay word for bedrock mortar. Emu. So let's go check it out. Let's take the tour. I got my little brochure, and oh, here, I'll show you the kiosk. Grinding holes. Here's some jojoba, goat nut. The brochure is suggesting that this is possibly a former agave roasting pit. All right, now the reason they're saying this is because the earth's a little darker than the land around. That also has a scatter of stones and sort of a proliferation of agave and cholla that are growing in this charcoal dense earth where agave was roasted. So an agave roasting pit would be that you dig a hole in the earth, you line it with stones, you bury the agave heart, cover it up, and roast it for 3 days. When you take it out, it's got this soft, like maybe sort of like potato-like, you know, it's a soft food and it's sweet. I was at the Imperial Valley Desert Museum yesterday having a fantastic conversation with the director there, and he showed me an excavated agave roasting pit that they took out of the ground and put into the museum. It dated to 11,000 years. People have been living here, right here, for 11,000 years. I've broken the rules of the game. I'm off trail. I'm off the brochure, but this trail was taking me down the middle of this little canyon. There's never anything good walking down a wash. All the good stuff's up by the rocks. All the good stuff's in the boulders. That's where all the rock shelters are. That's where people live. Look at all that shade. See all that shade? Look at all that open. Bad. Nobody wants to sit out in the sun all day. Come on. Okay, little payoff here. So this is something the Kumeyaay did. You find this a lot. This is not a perfect representation because it's really eroded. There's natural cracks in that rock, but it has been tooled so that it has been pronounced, okay? This is a hard one to use as an example because it's eroded and people argue, oh, it's just natural. But if you've seen one of these, in fact, I'll even insert in this video a few pictures of these that are in perfect condition, and there's no question, they've been tooled. Okay, so you've got the natural crack, but what's been tooled away is more. Down in here, these have been made deeper. See, the erosion is, the erosion doesn't take, like if water's running through this crack, okay, it's not going to erode up. That's not gravity. It could erode down, and it definitely has. See? But this has been chipped away to start with. And what you're seeing here, this hard line, this part, this has been helped. It's been chipped away to accentuate that crack. And then erosion, of course, is probably taken off that and, you know, some edges. But up here, look at this. These sun bursts are often yonis too. Actually, they're usually called yoni petroglyphs. And you can see there's the start. That's the center. Yoni, aka vagina. And then it's tooled away around it. There is a lot of speculation about why this image was very important to the Kumeyaay. It definitely was, though. It shows up a lot in this region. People have been living here, right here, for 11,000 years. Petroglyphs you're looking at right there could have been started 11,000 years ago. That's plenty of time to make a petroglyph look like erosion. Okay, here's some more. So there's that yoni, and then the rock there's a rock right in front of it. And in this rock in front of it is a vertically placed, perfect hole. I guess you could call it a cupule. It is enormous, though. It is absolutely perfect. These rocks are not conglomerate, okay? Look at this. The rocks here are not conglomerate. Conglomerate means that it's a kind of rocks that has big pieces of other rock embedded in it. This rock is not that. There's nothing around here that's that. So there's no explanation like this is an inclusion where a big rock fell out. That hole was made. All right, so let's see if I can get further away from it without the sun glare. Right next to those big boulders is this big boulder that has this wonderful vein of, I don't know, kind of a more quartz-like stone in it that makes a stripe. There's discussion of were boulders like this moved to have their stripes at a certain alignment. And I'll tell you what, that stripe is a perfect north-south alignment. And this isn't the first time I've seen this out here, by the way. At Mine Wash, there's a stone it's a little smaller, and it has the same kind of stripe and it has the same kind of alignment. Look at the crazy cool erosion on this rock. It's flat. It has this flat surface. Oh God, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's got this flat surface and it erodes in this really cool way. I would love to see this in the rain. Look at this Jenga rock shelter. This split boulder. It's got all these pieces that fell out from it, and it's like little caves inside. Let's walk around this rock. It's so cool. It's like just like a toy. A little puzzle. Isn't that great? Cool. Oh, what's sitting on the rock up there? Someone thinks they found a little mono. Yeah, look at that. Sorry, I got paper in my mouth. Okay. Mono. Grind, you know, the thing you use to grind. On this one. Maybe, is it broken mono? I don't know, but this side's all smoothed out from grinding. So probably maybe more on in a big bowl like that, not in a little hole. I don't know, who knows, whatever. It's for grinding. The brochure invites us to look out over this valley and realize that we're not looking at any power lines, you're not looking at any roads, you're looking at the exact same landscape that the Kumeyaay people might have been looking at 1,000 years ago. I would amend that slightly because this region wasn't in such a severe drought 1,000 years ago. I think this would have been a lot greener. There would have been water probably. See that white band that's right in the middle of the photo? That's a dry lake bed. That probably would have been full of water, at least seasonally. And these hillsides would have been green. Another yoni. I wish I had a better word for that. I wish I had a local word for that. I hate yoni. Yoni is like, It's an Indian word from actual India on a totally different continent. It makes no sense in this context, but I guess people don't like to use the word vagina. Vagina, vajayjay. Look at that. Carved away and then eroded. Old as F. Hey, here's some fun. All right, everybody likes this. Pictographs. Can we see them? Am I looking? Oh, there we are. Okay. Pictographs. Oh, there's things to count. I'm gonna de-stretch this. Be right back. Well, it appears that what we're looking at here is really, really, really eroded. You can see in the de-stretch that this one is actually a repeating pattern along that line a little bit, but most of it is just totally blasted away by the wind. And down here is very hard to make out what's down there. I'm gonna read to you what it says here in the brochure. It says that the charcoal used from roasting wild cucumber seeds would be used to make the black paint. Red paint is most often made from iron oxide. And that the paintbrushes were made from yucca and agave fibers. Also, fingers and sticks were used to apply the paints. And then, I love this. I love that they always feel like they have to say this at the end. Many guess at the meanings of rock art. In truth, the stories behind most designs remain a mystery. Only the original artists could unravel. Lazy. This little panel actually is bigger. It goes up here. It takes this whole little pocket, this little dark pocket. And there's more up here, but it's just trashed. This is why pictographs just don't have the longevity that petroglyphs do. Now look at what the sun's doing with that shadow. Ah, so the sun's right there, and it's gonna come up and over. That's the rising sun, so that's the east. As the day goes by, I wonder if that shadow marches across this thing. That's interesting. I bet it does. I don't have the time today to sit and watch it. Oh, maybe I'll make the time. Oh no. This is why it takes all day to do a 1 mile hike. This kind of thing. All right, moving on. The pictographs, turn around, and what's behind us? We got some kitchen supplies, grinding holes, bedrock mortar, which means there's going to be more of that probably right around here. Whoa, okay. All right. Let's back up a little bit. We've got yoni, we've got pictograph, we've got ritual cupules on a vertical surface. So, not for food prep, ritual use. The edge of that rock there, right around the corner there, that's where the pictograph is. And here we have a little rock shelter right here. You can tell because of all of the charcoal stains. Oh, look at this. We're back on the trail. I'm following the rules again. Gotta do it sometimes. Big split rock. Cool. Oh, I love big split rocks. That's so cool. What's happening here? This one's giving me spidey senses. Let's check it out. Oh my god, more split rocks. Oh, cool. Cool. Here we go. Grinding slicks. These are really smoothed out, flat places where, I don't know what, seeds, leathers, everything would have been ground on the top of these rocks. Milling sites. Now there's some natural cracks in that rock. Does not look like a yoni. Natural. Okay, here's a good opportunity to show what natural cracks look like that have not been tooled. Natural cracks are thin. They don't have accentuated edges. See? There's no difference in color. anywhere, the crack, and then you've got rock. There's no white part that's been chipped out of this. There's been no accentuation of these cracks. You see the difference? Not a petroglyph. Clearly not a petroglyph. Now see, if something had been chipped away, like that has eroded, it would be... Actually, even that sort of repatinated at some point. That piece fell out, but it's still been colored again by the sun. So really there's not even any difference in color. See? That's just an old natural crack that's still all the same color. The petroglyphs don't look like that. The color's different. You can tell the part that's been more recently exposed. Cupules. Because these are on top of the rock, they really could be used for some kind of food prep. It's when you get them on the side of the rock where, you know, you can't, you cannot possibly keep any food in there. You start thinking, okay, ritual. What's your story? Weird things on the landscape. I like weird things on the landscape. What are you telling us? Wow. I mean, apart from anything else, it's just an amazing rock shelter. What a great place to spend your day working with, you know, shelter from the sun. This rock shelter is pointed out on the map, and they're right. It is completely fantastic. Check this out. It's a tumble of rocks. Cool erosion on top, by the way. Coming around. Gets inside, and got some grinding holes right there. And then what they're pointing out about this shelter here is that there's a pit inside of it. And they say, what do you think that might be used for? Wow. Well, okay, I mean, we can say storage, right? Rodents might be a problem down there. We're talking about people that didn't have pottery. No, that's not true. There's pottery found that's at least 2,000 years old. So we had pottery at least 2,000 years ago. So what are we using it for? Storage? I think storage would be up there. There's lots of nooks and crannies. The storage would be high. Down here, there would be water running on the ground sometimes, hence all the water erosion, right? So, sweat. I'm thinking sweat. Although I don't see smoke stains in there. Oh, drat, why don't they just say? But I guess you could, like, you know, drape this over with something, with some skins, and make a pretty tight little sweat, although you can't fit too many people in there. Well, on top of this little rock shelter thing that they are pointing out, there are possible very old eroded petroglyphs like we were talking about. Possible. They're a mess, so I can't say for sure those are petroglyphs, but hey, let's say they are. That gives us a clue as to what's going on inside here, and it would be something ritual. And if it's something ritual, it isn't storage, it isn't sleeping, it isn't grinding food, it is ceremonial, and ceremonial means sweat. So, since they mentioned sweat in this little article, I think that's what this is. I think we're looking at a little sweat lodge. The brochure invites us to notice that we are walking through an Imali forest, agave, and sha'a, yucca. Forest of food. Right by the village. That's handy. Hey, I like living next to a supermarket, so I get it. Oh, we got juniper over there. The Kumeyaay language, it has kind of a drawl, you know, like a Texan, a drawl. And so their words kind of, you have this sound to them. So we've got pinyon pine is a wiu. I don't know how to pronounce this properly, but I'm doing my best. I'm trying to make a drawl, right? A wiu. Agave, Imali, yucca, sha'a. See, they're kind of cool people, right? They got this, like, I can see them putting their feet up and going, hey, sha'a, you know, like they're talking. They got time on their hands. These are cool dudes. They are kings of their domain, and they're not in a hurry, you know? They got time to draw the words out. We're approaching the end of the trail. I gotta show you this. All right, so in the brochure here we have number 7 on the map is gonna be this pictograph. So they're leading us down the primrose path, and this pictograph is visible for like 5 miles away. Never in all of my puff have I seen a darker pictograph. Oh, surprise, look, perfect archaeology just here for you to see. We didn't touch this up at all. Look at that. It's still cool though. I mean, it's real, but you've seen pictographs. They're not like that. They're not hard edge, dark, hard paint like that. No, that's not charcoal made out of cucumber seed. Charcoal mixed with oil. That's called Michael's Arts and Crafts. So despite the fact that that pictograph is kind of hilariously retouched, I'm still going to treat this by, you know, kind of inquiring in my mind as to the point. I mean, look at the geometry of that rock and where that pictograph is placed on it. That's pretty gorgeous, just on its own. We've got the light on the right, the dark on the left. We've got some triangles. The pictograph is right in the middle of a dark stripe. You know, that this story is not accidental. This whole rock is part of the story of that image. And now I'm going to look at the environment it's in. So we're in this little canyon. So look, we got this to the left, this to the right, and then around this rock, we're coming to the end of this canyon. I've been in these canyons right here. I've been in the next canyon over, and these canyons end at waterfalls. They drop off onto the low desert. I'm going to walk down this path and see if maybe what this pictograph is indicating is like a boundary of some kind, or having something to do with this canyon ending. You know, I feel like the orientation of that has either something to do with looking back out. The pictograph is looking out toward the village, toward the open high desert, or it's indicating a gateway to this. So let's go see what's down there. All right, here we go again, walking down this canyon. Remember I talked about how natural cracks are small? Okay, natural cracks. Small, tight. Tooled cracks. Erosion, water erosion doesn't erode up, right? It erodes down, but we've got the same distance of chipped away on the ray of that crack. Both sides. Same thing on the opposite side of this same boulder. Holy moly, look at that. Look at that. That boulder has been entirely chipped away on all sides. That is a flag. Oh, that means there must be something up there. Oh, I wish I had more time today. Let's see. Let me hop this boulder over here and see if I can see what's up that way. I mean, it's possible too that it's actually indicating that if you want to travel someplace, you go over this pass right here, like a road sign. It's marking something. Look at that. That's not natural. Nothing ever eroded perfectly in a square like that. That's amazing. That's really cool. I've actually heard about this before, about the rocks being chipped away as flags, but I haven't really seen one that's so pronounced and obviously what that is. Here it is from a different angle. And I wonder if it's a coincidence that that square is kind of next to this pinnacle. I wonder if that pinnacle is natural. I mean, it's pretty intensely eroded in a really weird way. I mean, there's nothing here that erodes into a pinnacle like that. That's so strange. I think that actually is an arrow. I think it's pointing. I think all these things together, they're saying, hey, look, something. Look, this is the direction. And that up there is where you're supposed to go for that thing that they're pointing out. Well, put a pin in that. We're going to make that trip one of these days. What I think is actually up there now is Yaquitepec. That's, look that up. There was a family in the 70s that built a house up there. Yeah, they built a house up there and it had no water supply and it was a crazy experiment. They were trying to live like hunter-gatherers basically out up on that ghost mountain. Maybe that's what's up there. Maybe that's who made these. Alright, I'm going to be slightly lame. This is the end of the trail for me. That I don't feel like scrambling all those boulders today. That's going to take too much time. I actually have a schedule today. I know what's over there. I've been to the end of this canyon, one canyon over, and it ends at some kind of big drop off. There might be a waterfall, probably is. In any case, it'll just be a steep drop down into the low valley. Yeah, that's the end of this village. Now we're basically in a waterway. We're in a drainage. Well, that was fun. There was more to that than I expected. There always is. And yeah, I really like that. That was a cool place. So this is, if you're looking at the map and you're coming out to Anza Borrego, they call this Morteros on the map. It's called Morteros. It's in Little Blair Valley. So come on out. It's less than a mile round trip. Good fun. Thanks for joining me on this. May the fire inside you continue to burn brightly. Thank you for watching.